Asus ROG GX700 review. Would you spend more on a laptop than a small car? Asus is hoping that there are at least a few people in this country willing to do that, and given how well multi-crore cars and homes sell all over India, that might not be such a far-fetched idea. However, Asus hasn't taken the usual luxury route, with exotic materials and high-fashion styling. What it's selling instead is pure power. The GX700 is an absolute beast of a machine, with the kind of hardware, and price tag, that no manufacturer has ever dared trying with a laptop before now. The GX700 is, on the surface, meant to be a hardcore gamer's dream come true. It certainly does have everything we could possibly want in a modern gaming PC and then some. However, the more time we spent with it, the more we began to see that it isn't so much about gaming as it is about showing off. Read on to see what we mean by this, and whether it makes any difference. First of all, there's the packaging. A standard cardboard box would have been too low-key, so of course Asus ships this thing in a completely over-the-top four-wheeled suitcase. We've seen high-end hardware come in secret agent-style briefcases before, mainly for the theatricality of it, but this takes the cake. The suitcase might actually come in handy to haul the GX700 laptop around with its stock and accessories. However, to be honest, it isn't an especially high-quality piece of luggage, so opening it doesn't feel like unwrapping a luxury product. On popping the latches, you'll see the laptop, liquid cooling dock, and their respective mains adapters all tightly ensconced in black foam cutouts with red Velcro straps for effect. The laptop is one of the biggest we've ever encountered, and we'll get to it in a moment. More interesting is the dock, which is completely unique. This is basically a self-contained external liquid cooling apparatus that can augment the laptop's own fans. It's massive and heavy, with a deliberately aggressive look combining black metal mesh, exposed bolts, brushed gunmetal plastic, shiny orange chrome, and a dark tinted plastic window. Thankfully, Asus avoided a military-themed design, which we've seen enough of to last a lifetime. When you want to dock the laptop, it sits on a sort of sled which raises it at an angle and aligns two gaskets on its rear with the mechanism of the dock itself. Pushing down on the dock's huge central lever moves this mechanism forward to engage with the gaskets. Red lights start pulsating behind the tinted window, fans spin up noisily, and it's all gloriously satisfying. There's another mechanical button to release the seal, and pressing it is just as geektastic as watching the Enterprise D's saucer section separate from its secondary hull. The whole point of this system is that you can separate the two units when you need a more portable gaming machine, but even on its own, this thing is hardly easy to move around fault with. The laptop weighs 3.9 kilograms and measures 429 by 309 mm. The only concession to modern styling is that it's relatively thin, at 35 millimeters. The body is mostly plastic with metal accents, all in the same gunmetal and orange color scheme. There are two red LED strips and an illuminated Republic of Gamers logo on the lid. The laptop's hinge is extremely firm, and is designed to stop with the lid at an angle that allows the dock to sit behind it without the two knocking into each other. There's a power inlet on the back, between the two liquid coolant seals, which means that the laptop gets its power from the desk unit when docked. All other ports are on the two sides. On the left, there are two USB 3.0 ports, individual 3.5mm mic and headphone sockets, and an SD card slot. On the right, there's another regular USB 3.0 port, two Type-C ports, HDMI and mini DisplayPort video outputs, and a collapsible Ethernet port. The two Type-C ports can handle 10 Gbps transfers as opposed to 5 Gbps on the others, and one of them also supports Intel's 40 Gbps Thunderbolt 3 standard. Flip the lid up and you'll see a nearly full-sized keyboard with a number pad and an arrow cluster that actually has room to breathe instead of being scrunched up into the bottom row. The layout is a bit unorthodox, but it's designed for gamers, not typists. There are 5 programmable macro keys in the upper left corner and a 6th shortcut that's permanently bound to Split Gamecaster, to which you get a lifetime pass. Backlighting is red, of course, and there are 3 brightness settings. The WASD keys have transparent sides so the backlight shines through more and sets them apart. The screen measures 17.3 inches diagonally, and it still feels like it's floating in a sea of plastic because of how massive the surrounding body is. It isn't a touchscreen, but that's more of an advantage here because it doesn't have to be glossy. You'll find speakers to the sides of the keyboard, firing both upwards and sideways to create a surround effect. There's no subwoofer, which many other large laptops are able to fit in. The Asus GX700 was first announced a year ago, but its specs are still almost entirely top-notch thanks to delayed refreshes this year. With the sole exception of the GPU, everything sounds like someone drew up a fantasy wish list without the slightest concern about cost, and just decided to go for it. We start with an Intel Core i7-6820H gate processor, which can go up to 3.6 GHz as is, but also allows for overclocking thanks to its unlocked multiplier. When docked, it automatically goes up to 4 GHz, and Asus says there's enough headroom to take that further manually.